Yes, my people, welcome back to All Things Arsenal, episode 9. And today we've got a lot to talk about. What went wrong with Arsenal season? New director of football incoming. Arsenal open talks to sign German star. And much, much more on All Things Arsenal. So, we're going to begin with what went wrong this season. And my opinion, I feel there's a number of things. There is no one person to blame. There's no one thing. The injuries have played a major part, no doubt. But even before the injuries, we did not look the same team from the last 2 years. There seemed to be something. I just couldn't put my finger on it. The stats said that we were doing the exact same as last season. We were on course to match last season's points tally. But that was relying on two things. No more injuries, as Saka had just gone down before the window started, and Arsenal to do what they done last season and win 16 out of the last 18 games, which we now know is impossible to do. So we only have 11 games left of the season, 13 points behind Liverpool. I think it's safe to say there's not going to be a 5-game swing with 10 games to go because they've only got 10. They only need to win 5 games, maybe 6. They have 6 games at Anfield, only 4 away from home. And I will say they're going to win at least 5 out of the 6. And then probably 2 or 3 away games just to top it off. So we know the league is done. And for me, it all goes back to the summer. Mikel Merino, Calafiori, Raheem Sterling, Neto, and David Raya on a permanent deal. Those were the signings that we made. Was that enough to get us over the line? And what I want to ask everyone is, before the season started, if I told you at the end of last season, Arsenal are gonna sign those players, just think about it, before even the Euros, would you have been excited? And my answer to that would be no. I think most of us would have been disgusted, would have felt sick, and we would have been furious at the board. But just remember, this board, they are criminals. There's criminal negligence going on. They've got us into this position, but now is the time to kick on. And as we know in January, we bought no one. Saka had already gone down and Jesus had already gone down, so it was imperative that Arsenal acted in the window. And what did we do? We done nothing. We had a sporting director who'd never had a job before, I don't think. He was the number 2. He stepped up in Eddie's position, and Arsenal said they've been impressed. Impressed about what, may I ask? That he chose not to spend the 60 million? Sounds very convenient. Sounds like that 40 million and £1 bid for Luis Suarez. All a publicity stunt. So, my blame is with the owners for not doing enough in the summer and then doubling down and not doing enough in January, even though we had multiple injuries. And I believe Martinelli also went down in January, so we knew we needed to act. And then Arteta, the style of play, I didn't even get onto that. It's very turgid. The tempo of the football is not the same. It's very slow and lethargic. We don't we've not looked at all the same side as we did last season. So he has to take some blame. He has to take blame for team selections, weird lineups, party right back. It's not working. Three DMs in the center of the midfield. Like, what is going on? And even four, because Party's right back. I don't know what Arteta has been thinking this season a lot of times. I credit him for bringing in the youth, Ethan and Mars Lewis Skelly, but at the same time, we had no choice. We were down to the bare bones, so it was forced upon him. When he had the chance earlier on in the season to play Wanyeri, he chose not to. So he has to take some blame. So that's who I blame. Arteta, the board, and you, I would say maybe some fans, but no. This one is solely on the board and Arteta. And we're going in to a new season because this season's over. The Champions League is still to play for, but yeah. But we're going into a new season, and this is the next topic. We are looking at a new director of football. And David Ornstein has reported about this in The Athletic. And if we quickly go and look at this, we'll quickly go, share my screen with you people. Here we go. So, the story says, Arsenal plan to appoint new sporting director in March. Arsenal plan to appoint a new sporting director next month and are in the process of whittling down candidates before their decision is reached. The position has been vacant since Edu left in November, which saw Jason Ato promoted on an interim basis. So, they're saying he remains an option full time. Get him gone. Dan Ashworth, Andrea Berta, I believe he's from Atletico Madrid. Roberto Alabe from Real Sociedad. Most noticeably, I believe he brought in Alexander Isak and maybe Martin Odegaard, I'm not too sure. And then Thiago Scuro, who is one of the Red Bull directors, or he's on the board over there. So I guess the names, they're not too bad. Obviously, Dan Ashworth, I'm not really a fan of that name, but we know we done good stuff at Brighton and Newcastle, but still, I'm not very enamored with the name Dan Ashworth, and I doubt a lot of you are too. But yeah, they're saying this is from David Ornstein, by the way. The process was supported by a recruitment firm initially helping form, assess, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we need to go too much into this. So KSC is heavily involved in matters and ultimately have the final say. So there was deliberations. Arsenal are yet to offer any contender a job, but Luis Campos from PSG, he was linked, but at the moment he seems to not be in the frame, which I done a breakdown on him before, and I feel that that would have been the perfect man for the job. He seems to have a lot of experience, and he's brought in some gems, the likes of Mbappe, Lamar, Bernardo Silva, many more. But he seems to not be in the frame no more. And then it talks about basically Edu's time at the club. I think, yeah, Edu didn't do the worst job, but I think it was time for him to move on. And also I need this next sporting director to not bow down to Arteta. He needs to be strong. And the Lewis Campos, I think he would have been strong. Arteta wouldn't have been able to just been making him get this player and that player. That should never be the case. Because if Arteta leaves tomorrow, we need to be planning for the next manager. We need to have a set style of play, set players. But yeah, there it is. That's the list. I don't really know who I'd have. It does talk about a bit more of about the people and their credentials for this role, but I don't really know. Talks about Dan Ashworth. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan. You can go and find this article yourself. The New York Times via The Athletic. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I just hope anyway that we're able to just get someone that can do the job effectively. And their first piece of business needs to be a striker and a winger. I need to see two forwards. If I don't see two forwards this summer, I think I'm going to lose my shit. You know how bad it is? I'm even making a pledge. If we don't sign two forwards this summer, I might not even watch the games. I might not watch the games. But I love this club too much, man. They know I'm lying, but yeah, I'm just furious. And these owners, they are actually taking us for mugs if you actually think about it. So I'll stop sharing the screen now. But yeah, these owners, they are properly taking us for mugs. If you just take a look here, so we've been kicked out of all competitions. We're in the Champions League, but I don't think we're going to do anything. Arsenal, we now have new merch that has dropped. You get kicked out of all competitions. There's no cup game this weekend. So what do? You drop the merch and just look at the merch. £550 for a vase. £385 for another vase. So these owners, they don't want to spend. They told us 60 million was too much for Ollie Watkins. They better have some tricks up their sleeve. I need to see a mass spend upwards of 300 million. This spend needs to be closer to 300 than 200 to show me that these owners are ambitious. You won't be forgiven, but it's a start. It's a start because I'm hurting. And I know many other Arsenal fans are hurting with the way you've treated all of us. But yeah, that's the first topic. Oh, that's the second topic actually. So it actually leads me into, but wait, I didn't even tell you guys who I probably wanted out of that list. Uh, I'll probably take one of the Spanish guys. Yeah, I'd take one of the Spanish guys. The Red Bull, I think they said director of football or something like that. I don't know. They are good, but I'd probably take either the Atletico Madrid one or the Sociedad one. Because, yeah, he did find Isaac, so he seems like he has an eye for a striker. And if he can find the next Isaac, then all power be to him then. But talking of transfers, that is actually the next topic, funnily enough. Arsenal are in talks with none other than who? Joshua Kimmich. And we'll take a look at this story briefly as well. So, as you can see here, Joshua Kimmich, Arsenal interested in signing the Bayern Munich midfielder on a free transfer, say Sky in Germany. So, this is reports in Germany from Sky. How credible this is, I don't know. Is this all part of Kimmich's plan to sign a new deal? I don't know because it does actually state, I don't know if it states in this article, we will look at it that Kimmich was offered a contract, but Bayern Munich turned it down. They retracted it because he took too long to accept. And that was for 22 million euros, which works out at around 450 euros per week. So he would be Arsenal's highest earner, no doubt, because that probably translate somewhere in the region of 300,000 a week. Would you like Kimmich at Arsenal? Let me know. So, Sky and Germany are reporting that Arsenal are looking to sign the Bayern Munich midfielder Joshua Kimmich on a free transfer. The 30-year-old midfielder due to reach the end of his contract in June, but is in talks over a new deal. So they're saying he's in talks over a new deal. Somewhere else said that the deal got retracted. So it's looking like this might just be PR after all. So Ars says Arsenal are not commenting on reports they have held talks with the German international's representatives. Talks over a new deal with Kimmich at Bayern are ongoing. Midfield is an area Arsenal will look at in the next window with both Thomas Partey and Jorginho contracts expiring, which is very true. We probably do need two midfielders because I would say the Mikel Merino experiment in midfield has failed. He doesn't look good as a striker. He doesn't really look good as a midfielder. His best position is off the bench. That's probably it. Last 20 minutes, can you do something? You done something against Leicester. Maybe you can do something again another day. But it says the club are understood to be close to finalising a deal for Real Sociedad Zubimendi, while recruiting another midfielder in addition to Zubimendi can't be ruled out. It is for Arsenal are also focused on the options they already have at the club. I'm assuming that's Miles Lewis Skelly because he can also play there. So you'd have Skelly, Ethan Wanyeri, Odegaard, Declan Rice, and then potentially Zubimendi. So there's still Fabio Vieira there as well. Thomas Partey and Jorginho, we don't know if both of them are leaving. Havertz has played in the midfield. Trossard's played in the midfield. So there is a lot of options. It's rumoured Timber Ben White can play DM. So I don't know. But me personally, all I know is that yeah, so it also goes more into it. You can go and read these stories for yourself. I'm not gonna go too much into it. You can go and find it. That's on the Sky Sports website. But what I'd say about this is I need to see us linked with forwards. And I don't want to keep seeing Sheshko and Williams because if we don't get them, that's even more embarrassing. It feels like Higuain and like Benzema, Ben, whoever, all over again from all those years ago. No, it was Draxler. It was linked with Draxler every window. Draxler feels like Williams and Higuain feels like Sheshko. Will we actually get them? Or is this all a PR spin? But what I do know is if we did get Kimmich, I'd be very, very happy with that signing. If Partey and Jorginho goes, I'd say Kimmich and Zubimendi is a massive upgrade and I'll be all for it. So, if you're going to do it, Arsenal, you have my blessing. Yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on Joshua Kimmich. But last but not least, Arsenal women They have a game on Sunday. They play against West Ham. We know the league is done, but if you do want to go watch some Arsenal this weekend, 5:30, I believe it's live on Sky. Tune into it. And some news from the Arsenal camp. Mariana Caldentey. She won the WSL Player of the Month for February. So congratulations to you, Mariana. And also our gaffer, Renee Slegers. She also won the Manager of the Month. So it's been a good month for the ladies, and I believe they have a quarter-final in the FA Cup next weekend. So good luck to them, and hopefully they can get to the semi-final. That'll be the second semi-final, and hopefully we don't lose it like we lost the previous one. But that's been it for all things Arsenal. Episode 9. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, people. I'm out, man. Bless.